go.
Hello everyone and welcome to Makeover Monday Viz Review for week 7 and for a bit of a Valentine's Day special. Hi Marian.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Excellent.
Oh, and I see the channel chat is alive. Yes. Oh, yes. And welcome, Vanessa Wilson. Yes, you just show up. This is just a live stream on YouTube. It's like any other YouTube video. It just happens to be live. And I have a bit of background noise of the puppy being coaxed out the door for her little walk. So, so we're talking about Valentine's Day, aren't we? Let me share the original viz from this week. So we're looking at data.world now. And let's open this in the new tab. So this is what we gave everyone to work with. Statista is a great source of vizzes for Makeover Monday, and I'm curious to see what people created. I mean, I know what people created for this viz review feed because I went through the hashtag. For anyone who's wondering and who's maybe new to this, what I did is earlier today I created just a collection of different charts that were created so we get a lot of variety. If your viz is not among them, that's not in any way me casting judgment or anything. It's just that maybe you created the same type of chart as the previous 3 people in the list, so I didn't pick yours. Like, it's zero judgment on the ability of you to create a viz or any of that. It's just bringing variety into the feed. So we will start... Where will we start? Let me quickly check. Yes, we'll start at the top, actually.
Because, okay.
Yes, I just like mixing things up and confusing
Yes.
All right, so we'll start with... I'm going to put on my glasses because the camera's off, so I can be vain. Put them on now. Ayuni Bakri. I actually just take them off because sometimes they reflect, like the lenses reflect, and then people can't actually see the eyes. So let's see what Ayuni created. And I'll probably have to zoom in on this one a bit.
Okay, got it.
All right, here we go. So we saw a lot of kind of pink and red and stuff going on this week. This one is not pink and blue, which is nice. Still quite a bit of pink and red, not as much though. So, first impression, I'll give you my first take. Keen to hear what you say. So, reasons UK celebrates Valentine's Day. Should be Valentine's Day. I don't think these are the reasons people celebrate. Well, I don't think these are the reasons the UK celebrates. The celebration is always the same. It's like, it's just this made up holiday, I guess. I think there is a difference between what is the reason for the holiday and what do people think is the reason for the holiday. I don't know if I expressed that clearly, but that's kind of the first stumbling thing for me. But the rest is kind of simple and fairly clear. What do you think?
For me, the first thing that stood out were the big icons to the left and to the right. I don't really mind, but that's kind of the first thing that I noticed. Mm-hmm. And then I was looking at the charts. The only thing that I would maybe change is kind of move it a little bit more to the left, because it's kind of very squished on the right-hand side where you see the 51 jumping out. Mm-hmm. I would kind of maybe park it more in the middle so you can have the labels on the outside.
Yes, and all that needs is maybe making the axis go up to 60%, because because the 51 is the only label that's inside the bar, everything else is outside. So just for consistency. Yeah. So the icons, do they make you think of toilets? Because they make me think of toilets.
They do now. I was going to say, but no. I don't mind the icons. I think I sometimes like the icons better than just saying male and actually type in the word male and female. I think they're a nice touch. I don't think they need to be so big. Mm-hmm. I think the image overall can be a lot tighter if you can cut up probably 1/3 of that and kind of put the chart nice in the middle and centered, equal amount of space on both sides. And you can just put a small icon on top of the bar, on top of the bars to kind of show this is the male section and this is the female section. And you don't even need to use icons. You can use, what do they call it again? Alt codes for that. So you can make it a lot simpler. I wouldn't make them so big. I don't mind so much, but they were the first thing that I saw. So.
Yeah. And one point Charlie made, he's on the chat, is that the decimal points don't need to be there. I mean, everything is .0, so you could just chop them off. Yeah. Makes it easier again. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. Let me jump out of that and move on to the next one by EK Data, who is potentially online. I haven't seen any comments yet, but usually they participate in the live chat. Men and women agree, just make us feel loved. Yet when it comes to our love language, we're quite different. Okay, there's something cut off on my screen because of that grey box at the top. It's pretty colourful.
I don't mind the colors. I think they're the standard colors, right? I think it's just a way to show how they rank differently. Mm-hmm. So I think it's interesting that it's just that.
It seems like a lot of space for essentially not a lot of information. Like these boxes could be so much smaller, or the writing larger.
Yeah, or you could put the text next to the box and just have that be like a narrow column, right?
Yeah, or even just a circle, like a big-ish circle at the end of each of these lines.
Yeah.
That indicates the color. The colors make me think a little bit of a board game. You know how you have those different little I don't even know what they're called. Those little human things, person things. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's zoom through these a bit more quickly. Yes, there's always a lot. Okay, so the next one I might have to. Oh yeah, the link is in the response to the original tweet.
Is that the one with the red and the?
Yes.
What's the?
It's really hard on my eyes. Like I'm struggling with this one. I cannot look at this for very long because it makes my eyes hurt.
Yeah.
It's so red and so hard to see.
I think if you just tone down the redness of this, it would look a lot. It would look so very different.
Yeah, maybe even how roses are usually a bit of a dark. I mean, you've got kind of bright red roses, but also the ones that go more towards a burgundy, like a red wine kind of color.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be so much easier on the eyes.
I think it's like the perfect data set to do something fun, right? And it doesn't have to be. But I like the different elements, although it's not my style, but I think it works. But the color is really bright. So if you just were to tone that down or kind of take that, like you said, the burgundy reddish color for roses, then it would look much nicer.
Yeah.
And it would be easier to read for people, for everyone, not just for. I can look at it, but probably not for too long.
And I think we should address the elephant in the room, because in this data set, a lot of people found that 25% of men celebrate Valentine's Day for sex. And that actually made me just realize the axes are not fixed, so the bars are the same length but different values. So this 51 bar, the 29 bar should be shorter than that significantly, so make sure those are fixed. Now what I would say on the right side, it says 29% of men celebrate Valentine's Day to show much they care. And this is language stuff, but I don't know if that's why they celebrate Valentine's Day or what they think is the reason, or or what matters to them on Valentine's Day. So I think, I'm happy for anyone to pick this apart, but I would think everyone has the same reason or that Valentine's Day has the same reason everywhere, right? It's like whatever, the day of love or whatever it's strictly speaking called. But then these are the reasons why someone else would kind of care, or what they think is the point of it. That doesn't mean they celebrate it for that. I mean, if I had to guess, and this is maybe taking it a bit far, but, that's all good, I would think that these men make an extra effort to get sex out of Valentine's Day. That's just my guess here, but that's how I've interpreted these answers. Like, on the one hand, yes, you show how much you care. Some, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get laid. then, oh, we're going to go out for dinner. Like, that's what we do on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Am I going too far here?
No. It's interesting conversation to have. We're just looking at it. What I think beyond the color and aligning making sure that the axis is the same for both. I'm not sure what the point is of the other blocks that don't have a text and color, and unless there's some interactivity there.
Yeah, you can hover and get the tooltip, but that's not obvious because it's not said anywhere. And the suggestion I would make is to make the font larger. Anastasia actually commented with that as well, but I've just zoomed into 100% on my screen, and it's pretty small. Like, I would have to squint to read that. Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Move on to the next one.
Oh, I need to go back to the thread. We'll go to Amanda Lopez. Okay.
Yes.
And thanks to everyone who posts a picture and a link. That's very helpful because the pictures is what I use for the favorites, because just in case anyone cares, the pictures is something I can link to, then I don't need to download or upload the images to our blog, for example. Anyway, okay. I wonder who wrote the Book of Love. Women and men might not be on the same page. I don't know if they've ever been on the same page, to be honest. Okay. I really like including this information about, according to a 2015 UK study, because this is just UK people.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like the direction she's taken it in. So women are much more likely to agree as to show how much you care.
Yeah.
While men are more likely to focus on the evening plans.
Yeah. And I like that the icons are like in a muted color. So they kind of have a dual purpose in a way. Like, it's the color legend, but it's also a visual element to kind of bring home the point of on which side. Like on the left side, it's the things that women care about more, and on the other side, it's the men. So I like that, and I like that they're like a muted version of the main colors. I think that works really well.
I agree, because I think they're still recognizable, but they're not in your face pink and blue. And I mean, this is probably a super simplified study. I mean, I don't know how reliable these things are, right, and how representative. But it does seem to be that women are like, we want to see that you love me, or I as a woman want to see that you love me, whereas the man is like, I want to do stuff, I'm going to do something special. So that's interesting, and I think here that came out for me because the sentence in the subtitle actually prompted me to think about that way, like, what are these different responses? Not just, it's just a response, but how are they categorized? What do they include?
Yeah. Do you think the axis needs to be there? The numbers at the bottom?
Maybe not. But what I like about it is that it tells me that she's fixed them to the same length.
True.
Which, I think a normal kind of lay people audience wouldn't really care about. They might kind of notice it or not. But I think as someone who cares about it, it's helpful for me. Yeah.
True. No, that makes sense.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one.
Yes. I have thought long and hard about, over the years, what can I say when we move on to the next viz? Because there's only so many ways to say we're going to move on to the next viz. I think I only have a few standard sentences. All right.
Yeah.
Why do we celebrate Valentine's Day? Okay, he's got some fun findings. I want to see that. I mean, I know we always focus on the data, but I would love to see the fun stuff first. Women and men tend to agree that the most important reason we celebrate was to show how much you care. However, the agreed upon reason also has the largest difference. I don't know if that's fun. Like, I kind of expected something that's going to make me laugh, or at least kind of chuckle. But it doesn't.
Which one are we looking at now?
The bottom. Oh, sorry, the one by I don't know who that is. Let me go back. Sean Cole.
Okay, because there was like a whole piece of text. I'm like, I don't see the text. I just see the title and the.
Oh, yeah, the text is at the bottom.
Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. So you have the link open. Got it.
Yes.
Okay, I was just looking at the screen graph because I couldn't follow.
Oh.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. But yeah, that kind of drives home the.
Oh, I think I lost you. Are you still here?
Point, right?
Oh.
Am I back?
Yes, you are back. I just had to.
Okay,
check.
excellent.
Okay, so I had read out that fun findings first. What was and you made a comment about it, right?
Yeah, because I only saw the top part of the image and the text was all at the bottom, you say? Because I'm not. Yeah, okay, got it. Fun findings. Salt 3-second suggestions. Interesting.
I just don't know if that's not over promising, because I don't find the first one fun and I don't find the second one sultry. I mean, they're just talking about sex. Like, it's not even going into any detail. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if you were, let's say, you were my employee and you're like, oh, I've got this amazing finding and this is like really like sultry second finding, I'm like, okay, I'll get my popcorn. What is it? And then it's this. I'm like, oh, that was a letdown. Like, they're not wrong. I'm not saying that, but I think those titles suggest something much more exciting than there actually is.
True. No, I can see that. I don't really have an opinion on it either way. I would definitely put a little bit more context on top.
Yeah. What about the numbers? Because they don't have the percentage labels this time.
True. I think I suppose I wouldn't mind if it's made clear they are percentages. Or you put the percentage next to it, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
I like that it's not pink and blue, although there's pink for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
which clashes a little bit with the rest, but I think that could just be if you wanted to kind of make it stand out, that could just be that could just be gray or black, right? I'm not really sure what the color is. I don't think you need the pink, but that's like a really minor thing.
But maybe I can't talk. But maybe making the title a bit bigger so that, because it's all quite similar sizes, I think the title should be a bit bigger. Yeah,
the title a bit bigger, and I would get rid of the pink and put a little bit, some of the text that's at the bottom, I would put that on top.
Okay.
Anything other than that, it's just, it's a simple. What's it? Dumbbell. I had to think of the name.
Yeah. One suggestion I'd make in terms of formatting is to not underline text unless it's a hyperlink. I think these days people expect something that's underlined to be clickable hyperlink. Okay. Then we have Veilcast.
I need to go back to the thing.
My browser is funky. I just need to zoom in a bit. Okay, that's better. Okay, Valentina Lauto.
Yeah.
Okay, same question. What's the point of Valentine's Day? I quite like that title actually, because there are a lot of cynics when it comes to Valentine's Day, myself included. Like, fine to celebrate it. I don't have an issue with people doing that, but I also don't need to just have one special day. I want every day to be special. So I think the title grabs people's attention. So yeah, I like that.
I think it's a much better visual representation than the original one, and I like the colors. I like the greenish is it greenish and purple instead of the traditional. Yeah. I think there are folks that have read there's a blog post that gets reposted every so often when the discussion is on should we use pink and blue, and I recognize the color, so I think that works really well.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just really, for me, it's just simple.
So one thing I would try, because I really like this, I think it's really neat, is the circles inside these bars or barbells, to maybe give them a white outline to create a gap between the circle and the bar, because at the moment I find it's almost a bit like those, those colorblind tests where, or color, some sort of, like, what is it? Attention tests where you see the word red in a green circle and you have to say the word, or you have to say the circle color. And at the moment, this is a bit like, I get lost because of these circles and the bars changing colors. I understand why, so that's not the problem. But I think a white outline could just differentiate those.
And then the only other thing maybe, and that's just a thing, I don't know if the percentages need to be bold, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I think it would look nicer if it's not.
Yes, and including the data source in the footer would be great. I know it messes up the design a bit, but yeah, that's kind of the only thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice.
There we go. And then we have Anastasia, and I wonder if that's the same Anastasia that is currently on the live chat. I suppose we'll find out. Okay, what's the point of Valentine's Day? Okay, so again we have the underlined text, which I think personally I'm also not a big fan of it. It's just I just always think it's a hyperlink. And yeah, I'm gonna let you start actually. What do you think of the packed bubbles and everything being in red?
I don't mind like the bubbles. It's obviously not the perfect choice, but I think this week was kind of a data set that people can have maybe fun with and try different things. So I don't mind the packed bubbles. And the color, it's reddish and pink, or I'm not really sure what color it is.
They're pretty similar, aren't they? Like I would have thought it's a gradient rather than two different category members, men and women.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder what. I'm not sure what color to turn it into though. I would maybe take the pink, the one that's a little bit lighter, and swap it out for something else.
What about gray?
Ooh, that could be nice too. Yeah.
So I like the explanation that the size of the bubble indicates the total percentage of respondents. But does it mean they're summed up? Because, like, does it mean that the circle that has women 51 and men 29, is that a total of 80? Or is it 51 or is it 29? Like, what is that sized? I want to know. Or is it an average, which also, shouldn't, like, I'm just not sure. I think this would be better as a bar chart. It's just so hard to compare. Like, here we have 51%, here we have 8% for women for sex versus show how much you care. So am I looking at, 8% over here? So we've got like, I don't know, 5.5 times as much, or like it's just so hard to compare. So it's a total of the groups, but you can't just sum up the women and men. We don't know if the sample sizes are the same, and that just makes it not comparable, really. I think these should be bars broken down between men and women. I know that sounds maybe boring, but that's
it's fair. The adding up as well. Because I've seen one or two others that kind of did the same thing where they added up the percentages to kind of be a total representation of something, but you of course can't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, clean design. I quite like the font and stuff. So I think she's made a great effort there. Oh no! Oh, sorry. Oh, shoot, that's probably my doctor, but I can't accept that now. Sorry, everyone. I hope I will manage to call them back because I've been waiting for their call. And
a personal thing. I like the visual, and I like the colors. I'm not sure.
I think I really like this. It does show the difference between men and women.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's super easy to understand. Well, so if I compare this to a bar chart, just for best practice's sake, because we've got the bar chart here, right? We've got that first bar for women. So let's use the top one to have sex. So we've got 8% at the top, 25 on the right side for the men. Those are the two things we're comparing. And that's fine, and it's fine for the purple one at the bottom. But everything in between is harder to compare because you've got the shape above or the shape below. like ruining the context a bit. You don't have a flat bottom to start from. So
Yeah.
I would say, for example, to treat yourself, you've got 14 on the left, 4 on the right. The 4 looks so much smaller because it's also so much lower because it starts on top of the 29. So I think visually, like, it's really cool. It makes me think. It gives me something new to ponder. If you're trying to make it easy for people, it's probably not the choice I would make.
True. I would agree.
But I like the colors actually because the middle, this gray bar, kind of separates it of between where men value it more versus where women value it more. But I think the colors should be explained somewhere.
Or maybe like a small multiple. That would be cool too. Okay,
Yeah.
have like small little, but that's something that we've seen a few times, I think, over the last 2 weeks. But
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for Kevin?
the only thing that I would, and that's like a minor, I don't really understand why the text under the title is cut off halfway.
Oh, is it? It's not on my
Yeah,
screen.
I just see honey. I'm looking at the image, and
Oh,
you
what's
have
the-
the title which kind of goes across, and then you have the subtitle. That's kind of, I don't understand why.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's different. So the actual viz looks very different on Tableau Public.
interesting. Okay, I should start looking
Yeah.
at that then instead of the image.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then we have Andrew next. This template. Okay. Okay, I need to make this smaller. Here we go. What's the point of Valentine's Day? That's the question. That should we have an apostrophe? And make sure that in your bottom, I mean, it's nice that you called out where you got the template from, but make sure you put your own name on there as well. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a question asked to men and women in the UK in a 2015 poll. First suggestion, the text in the red, I would make white, not dark red, because it's really hard to read.
Yeah. I think depending on what you want to highlight, because the red is really bright, right? You have to show how much you want to show the difference between the two, and then obviously highlighting the sex piece, which everyone has done. But the other colors, I don't get do we need to highlight them individually, or could that just be gray? And should the focus just be on the red pieces because they really pop out and everything else is kind of muted?
Good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the colors, if they have any meaning. I think it's just alternating colors for design purposes.
And then you could just, they don't seem to have a meaning because it's the same.
And they're all labeled, so they don't even need to have different colors.
Yeah. It's the same comment as before, right? It's difficult to compare the two.
Yeah.
But I think beyond changing I would change the colors of the middle ones. Just have that be one color. You still have the labels there because obviously the focus is on the red sections, right?
And maybe the numbers, at least in the red bars that are quite large,
Yeah,
could be a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have Rado Zatovic.
Okay, I should open the.
Oh, that's nice.
On public.
But, oh no, there's no but. I don't have a but. I really like it.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I noticed as well. I like how it kind of wraps around on top, and the text is kind of fills up the blank space. And I like the choice of colors too.
The one thing I don't understand is the sort order, because it's not alphabetical.
Yeah.
I would have thought that like either you sorted by women's preferences or reasons, or men's in descending order. But at the moment it seems to kind of jump a bit, which could be just for design so that it's a bit zigzaggy and it fits with the text. I would have pushed the impress someone to 4th place, then receive gifts, treat yourself, and give gifts, because to me, I actually see more of the right side, because the text on the left and the lots of white space, it kind of makes me not worry about the women's. answers, which is really sad. But I think that's part of, more than 51% said show how much you care. So that's covered in the top, and then the others are not that large. So the dark color is more prominent to me.
And should the title and the text be in a different color than the blue? Or not?
Oh, true. Yeah, fair
I'm
point.
not sure on that.
Yeah. It could
Because
just be a
it
dark
very
gray or
similar.
something, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I like the idea of the bar kind of up in the title.
Laura Frere makes a good point. She says the sort order makes it look like a question mark. Maybe that's just her.
Oh, yes.
That is a very good point. So we could, yeah, that's probably it. I mean, Rado is pretty good with his design skills, so goes much deeper than what I can recognize there. Okay.
Yeah, very clever.
Yes, and then we have Chimdi. Okay. What's the point of Valentine's Day? Okay. So we have hearts and flowers.
I don't mind the hearts and the flowers. I think that's okay.
I don't mind the hearts and flowers either. But what I do notice is the data gets a bit lost. Like the whole point of the survey gets, or the, of those responses gets a bit lost, because it looks a bit like one of those, kind of stitch work things you hang on your wall. Just the colors, the playful font, the flowers, and all of that. So I don't really recognize this as a data visualization. I also don't understand the sort order again. It seems it's alphabetical. Yeah, it's alphabetical. So yeah. Not sure what else to really say here.
No, me either. Besides, I think it depends on what you want to do. Right? If you want to have something create something fun and maybe try out different things or try to design something different, then that's okay. If obviously this is not something that you would put up for work, unless if that's where you work and that's where I want to work too. But other than that, I don't mind the hearts and the flowers.
Yeah,
it's it's not my it's not my style, but I think it's just a fun. That's how I see it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think for that it's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And Dennis commented on the chat saying his cringe level was really high this week, and it's funny because when Andy asked whether what data set, and we then picked one. We both knew this was going to happen. We're going to see lots of pink and blue. We're going to see lots of hearts and these kind of things. But that's just what happens. And I mean, people should have fun with it. It's not all serious. It's just that sometimes it's a bit overdone, because I think you can be playful in a kind of classy, styly way, and you can be playful in a really cringy, kind of over the top way. Okay. Next up, we have Sam Apley. What's the point of Valentine's Day? So there's a bit of context information. The point of Valentine's Day by gender, so you can click most important to men. Ooh, nice animations or transitions. I like that I can do these, these filter transition things. I just don't know if for something so straightforward as this data set, it's necessary. So it's good to practice it. I just don't know if anyone would actually click on it, because a lot of things you can actually see anyway.
Yeah. So it's the waffle chart at the bottom. I think for the additional insight that it gives, which is that for the top one, right? That men is 29. It's taking up a lot of space.
Oh yeah. I mean, it takes up half the viz, but It's already there. It's already in the top viz.
Yeah, so I don't know if you need it. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like a nice waffle chart. It's very neat. It's like looks like very nice aligns, but I don't know if it needs that.
Yeah, I'd chop it off.
Yeah,
I also think the colors, I don't mind them in the waffle. I mean, they're pink and blue, so that already for me is a no-go. But aside from that, they don't look bad in the waffle, but they don't look great in the bar, like the bar and bar, because again, my eyes are like flickering. It's not easy to look at. This is something I probably wouldn't open, not because it doesn't look good, but just because of the colors. It strains my eyes.
I always think when I see the pink and the blue, I think of babies.
I think of baby shower and these like stupid gender reveal parties and stuff where it's like, oh my goodness, and people having funky colored cupcakes and stuff, which again seems to be, I mean, this is just me having my own opinion here, but it just seems to be something people do for social media rather than because it's actually important. But let's move on to Daniel Sarmiento.
Yes.
Okay. What do women and men see as the point of Valentine's Day? Love is first priority for both.
Yeah.
So this is where, like, just delete the picture on the top. That's...
Yeah.
I wonder if we could do a little live makeover. Has he made it downloadable? Yes. Let's see if this is going to work.
Makes the image is blocking half of the, you cannot see, well, unless it's different online, but yeah, get rid of it. I would get rid of the image too.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Tableau to open up. Okay, let me move this.
And should this be a bar chart as well?
I mean, most things are better as bar charts, just like most things are better.
True,
with peanut butter or deep fried or something, right? Okay. Okay, let me see if this is gonna work. Yes, here we go. Okay, so everyone should see my Tableau screen now. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is get rid of this picture. Then I would suggest let's color the title in a different color. Let's just, I don't know, something gray. Okay. All right, now let's make this a bar. Wow. Donut hole. Oh. I mean, donut holes are great, but we might just not need them. I don't know why this has suddenly gotten so big. Where's my Tableau thing? Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. This full screen thing is confusing me. Some women. Oh, I'm gonna just destroy everything. Maybe let's get rid of the color. Oh, not the max donut hole. Ugh, what the hell? Okay, get rid of the count, get rid of the donut hole. Move the point. Let's change this. And then do that. Okay, this is a bit funky. Let's just see what we can do. Number format, percentage. Yep. Okay. Oh. Let's see. Okay. Percentage. The axis percentage. I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand formatting in Tableau, but I don't have to understand everything in life. Maybe it's the measure bloody values. I go to so many different places just to update the formatting. We are getting there. Okay. I wonder if people find these things interesting, amusing, or just kind of cringy. But I'm doing it anyway.
Okay. Yeah, I have to go back to it later and watch because I cannot see anything.
Oh no. Okay, I'm just tinkering. Okay. Let's drop measure names. I mean, so I could pivot the data so I have a single measure for men and women, but I just did it to avoid that and to avoid breaking everything. I'm just using measure names and measure values instead. All right, and we will use, Miller stone is nice, so let's maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll make the men green, and oh no, I don't like it. maybe men blue. I want a different color for, oh, okay. I'm gonna just, here we go. All right, so what color should we have for women? I'm gonna use purple, plum is good. And the men get gray, nickel. Maybe a bit of a lighter gray actually, because it's too dark. Magnesium, okay. Whew. All right, so I don't even know. See, now we don't even need the second one. Delete the worksheet. Okay. We are gonna make this much smaller. I don't know what's going on in the chat. Okay, too much. I'm so like tuned into this here and zoned out from the other thing. Okay.
I'm blind, so
You're just trusting me that I'm gonna do the right thing. Okay.
Yeah. I just keep looking at the. Well, I have looking at the thing. The fish.
All
that's
right.
still
Now,
open.
if I throw some labels on it, maybe. So I don't know whether we want that. No, we want. Okay. So I have a bar chart. I'm going to describe it to you. So we have a bar chart on a horizontal bar chart, and for on the rows we have show how much you care, and then we break it down into men and women. I think I'm going to move the women to the top because they are higher in that first category. Now we have it sorted by the women, which is nice, but let's just see. Okay, yeah, sorted by the women's responses, and then the axis I could get rid of, and I think I will. And now we can change the whole thing. Oh, 1600 pixels is quite wide. 900 tall is probably okay. Now the title. So what I like to do is use Tableau bold instead of making Tableau medium bold. For some reason, it just looks different. Then the subtitle. I'm going to use Tableau Light. And let's see what that looks like. It takes up a lot of space. Actually, let's change the title a bit. Okay, what about the point of Valentine's Day according to men and women? Okay, let's see what that looks like. What? It's just too long. We just need to shorten it a bit. Maybe let's just stick with the original. What's the point of Valentine's Day? And here we go. Okay, there we are. And then we can make that a bit shorter again. Okay, this is still really, really big, so let's make it a bit narrower and a bit shorter. Maybe like that. And then these, we can go back to making these bars just a smidgen fatter. And yeah, I mean, we kind of don't need, I mean, we could get rid of, okay, let's hide the header for the gender. And let's maybe, okay, let me do something. Okay, I just need an ASCII circle symbol. I like using these. Okay, and now we can float a little text, and we can say, Tableau, where are we? Tableau medium, maybe. So this is gonna be women. Oh, God. And then we have men, and we're gonna make the font like that, but then the women get that, and the men get that gray, and I think we can make it maybe a size 10, and then we have our own little color legend. Okay, ta-da! So this is my little suggestion here. Oh, let me try and find this minimize thing again. Let's just compare them. So I'm not going to stop anyone having fun with this data. Oh, hang on. There's something I don't like. Format. Fields. Okay, get rid of those movements. So I'm only focusing here on making it easier to understand. That's the only reason. But if you don't want to change anything else, just get rid of the picture that covers half the viz. Okay, let's. We've got a few more minutes. Let's move on to Utkarsh, and hopefully that puts you back in the game. Marion. I was just actually thinking of my friend Denise, and I was about to say Denise, and
How does that work?
I'm like all over the place. It is getting late and dark. Okay, I will let you start because I've talked a lot now. I'm going to quickly look through the chat. What's happening there?
I think it's very pink. That's yeah. I'm sorry. It just makes me think of Pepto-Bismol. It's yeah. That number one. I don't think you definitely don't need the text boxes. I don't think they add anything. Other than having a lot of words kind of bigger and smaller, but I can't really compare the two.
Yeah.
I think the hearts, the dumbbell hearts are cute, right? And that works, but the text, they take up a lot of space and they don't really tell you anything. So I would get rid of those boxes. And then maybe make the text at the bottom a little bit easier to read. So we can kind of see which categories we are comparing. And then maybe try some different colors instead of pink and blue. There's lots of combinations out there, but I think the purple and the green works really well. I think there's some newspapers I think that use like orange and bluish, so something other than pink and blue. Or if you keep it, get rid of the pink background because that is, yeah, that I don't think that adds anything. And I'm having a hard time reading the text underneath the title, but I think that's probably because of the font that they used. I think it would look a lot simpler without the text, the word clouds. I think it's what they call them, right?
Yeah.
If you get rid of that and of the pink background, then this would look a lot nicer, even though it's pink and blue.
It makes me think of candy floss. Or cotton candy.
That was the thing. I said Pepto-Bismol. I think I don't know where that came from, but yeah, candy floss, yes.
And Charlie made a good point earlier that when the size of what did he call it? Like a novel shape, non-standard shape. So a standard shape would be a square, a circle, a bar, but the size of the heart is really difficult to interpret. So the size here indicates the percentage, but also the height does, and the number. So you've triple encoded, and that's not really necessary. And I think that's what he meant when he said, like, well, this is really hard to interpret because our brains can't compare these heart shapes. They're really difficult. But, if it was just a box or like a square or something, might not look as cute, but it would be easier to compare. And I agree with all the other points that you make, Marion.
Yeah, and you could keep the heart if you wanted to, but maybe, I didn't think of the sizing, although that's something that I've done, but we'll forget about that, but just make them keep the same size.
Yeah.
Then I think then the hearts are, that will be fine.
All right. And then we have Aditya. Oh, and for those wondering, so I'm sure Charlie doesn't mind being tagged, but he's not co-hosting Makeover one day anymore. So you're not as likely to get a response from him if you tag him. So you don't have to tag him. In general, you don't even have to tag us. I know a lot of people do. I still tag Andy when I post my pictures. But you don't have to because we check the tweet, the hashtags anyway. So we will see your viz if you tag us or not, and it just reduces a little bit the notifications we get. So without further ado, let's look at this viz by Aditya. What's the point of Valentine's Day? And we have bars. We just have colors that are kind of
Yeah.
screaming at me.
Sorry?
We have colors that scream at me. I don't know why men are purple and women are green, but also the green is like fluorescent green that you would maybe see in a running t-shirt or running shoes rather than in a Valentine's vest, I would have thought.
I think if you kind of turn on the opacity a little bit, then that would probably look, you could keep them, again, it's not for everyone, but then they wouldn't look so pungent. Is that a word? Pungent? I don't know.
Yeah, well, pungent I thought is a smelly thing, but I know exactly what you mean.
Oh, see, like, okay.
I know you the word you mean. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it.
But it's bar charts. So.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
good that it's so there's two at the top, and I'm guessing they're meant to frame this picture in the middle.
Mhm.
But the word sex is below the top bar, which is fine. You know, they're always below the kind of categories, let's say. But it's quite far below, like it's right in the middle between those two charts. So
Yeah.
it's a bit difficult to see which one does it relate to.
I think if you're clever, then you can swap them. You can put them on top. I think there will probably all be separate charts anyway, right? Because this doesn't look like a small
Yeah.
multiple, so
Yeah.
might as well put the text on top of the charts instead of at the bottom, because people
Vanessa
folks
said
might be confused.
garish is the word. Yes, that's a good word. This is just too many colors. Like,
Yeah.
especially because everything says men and women anyway, so we don't need a color for it because we can tell which bar relates to what. And I kind of think that the up and down arrows, they look a bit like a financial statement.
Mm-hmm.
And they have another two colors included, plus the black text. And I think, so with these percentages, most people can do the math. It's not that difficult. Oh, and fix your axes. All these bars, the bigger one are all the same length, but we go from 51 down to 7%, and they're all the same length.
Yeah.
So make sure to fix those.
I think if you want to keep the image, I'm not a fan, but I understand that other folks might like that, and get rid of the bright colors and do all of the other things. Yeah, then I think you have something.
Yeah. So, and there's a couple of questions. I mean, I probably have to repeat this for the entire year. I don't know how it's going to arrive, but people are asking how to get into Viz Review. You just have to use the hashtag Viz Review, and there is no fast science for who's going to be selected. There's probably about 50 to 100 visits each week with that hashtag, and we cannot possibly review them all in an hour. So I just have to choose some. You don't have to tag me, I promise. I look at all of them. You also, I mean, when we say you have to be in early, well, you just have to be before Viz Review starts. So Wednesday, sometime during the day, I have to choose the visits for that selection, which is why, you know, if you post between Sunday and Wednesday, you'll have a chance. And then there was another question, and you don't have to do a unique viz. You just please don't do anything special, because that's probably gonna not end up so well for everyone. I just think, like, don't try to make it a competition. Focus on your viz, just build what you want to build, and then if we give you feedback, I mean, I would love to give everyone feedback, but I do have a day job, so I can't unless I start charging for it, which then people won't want to do. So just don't stress about Viz Review. I'm sure that when we talk about these visits, for example, here saying the green is just too much, you will probably remember that next time you build a viz and you're about to click on bright green and you're like, oh no, that's maybe a bit too much. Like, you will learn something from watching all of these, and I know there are plenty of people who can confirm. So don't stress about it. It'll be fine. It's not a competition. It's meant to be just fun for all of us. Okay. Do you think we can do one more? I think we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I can hear the kitchen downstairs, and I can hear that Maggie, our puppy, is helping with the dishes, which means she does the pre-rinse, so she gets to lick the spoons, especially the peanut butter spoons. It might sound gross, but of course afterwards the dishwasher is turned on. She's a bit of trouble. Okay, So, what's the point of Valentine's Day? And this is, who was this? Let's go back. Pratik.
Yes.
Why is this so big? And what is the my home categories? Huh. This is funky. Okay. Anyway, something clever. I'm trying to make this a bit smaller because it's just way too big. Okay. So here we have your Waffle's small multiples.
Yeah, I think design wise and the color scheme and all of that, I think it's really nice. I'm not really sure if it fits the theme, and it's a lot of space to kind of convey what you're looking to share.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I would say about that.
I think I really like the design in terms of, the font is playful, but I can still read it and it's not obnoxious. I like the choice of colors because all the colors that matter, so the yellow, the red, and the white, they pop on the dark background. I do kind of like the beveling, as long as it's the background, not the actual data. Like, I don't want the circles to have a bevel or something. But, like you say, it takes up a lot of space for what is essentially quite a small amount of information. So, plus it makes me think a bit of Connect 4, that kids game.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, like when you have two different colors and you have to put the round little chips in the holes, and as soon as you get 4, you win.
Okay, got it. I was gonna say, yeah, 4 op een rij.
Yeah, but vier gewinnt. 4 gewinnt.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I like the color choices. I think they're very neat. They work really well together, and they work well, with the dark background and the white. And this shows you also that white font on dark background is better than using gray because you get that pop.
Yeah, but I like the colors.
Yeah.
Maybe less bevel, but that's personal. I don't know if those things in the middle if everything needs to be beveled, but I think other than that, I like the.
So what I'm gonna do
like the design of it.
On the right side, it says 01. I'm gonna click on 02. Ah. This is really. Oh, he must have embedded his Tableau public profile. Ooh, oh, this is fun. I might have to explore this. What's number 3? Doodle classifier. Okay. Huh. Very clever. Okay, do we think we can do one more?
Sure.
Maybe? Okay, let's do the pie chart. Oh. Okay, this is Iberi. And...
Yeah.
Oh, automatic sizing. So it completely filled up my screen. I suggest to fix your size because otherwise, things can jump around on people's different size screens. What do you think? Can you read the font? Can you read those words?
I can. I'm trying to. I think this is where I would say it would be better.
Do you have a budget?
Yes, but I don't really get the slices, and I don't get the sizing of this.
Yeah, because when I look at sex,
everything up to
men,
everything added up is not 100%.
I think this is just for the men because the first one on the top right, men 25% for sex. That's exactly quarter. Then 29%. So these look like the slices are just for the men, but it doesn't say that anywhere. It feels a bit. I'm trying to find the right word that doesn't sound harsh. It feels like there's something missing. Like, why Valentine's Day? Okay, like how is a title like that going to make me look at this? It's not interesting. It doesn't tell me what it's about. Like, why Valentine's Day? Well, why not Valentine's Day? And I move on. It needs an explanation. It needs the data source, who made it, what is it about? Like, why Valentine's Day? Sex, show how much you care, buy someone gifts, treat yourself. Like, that is not a visualization, and that has zero analysis in it. I mean, technically it's a visualization, but it doesn't give me anything in terms of information. So, yeah. Okay, Actually, I want to end on a high note. I'm going to bring one more thing in here. I hope. Oh, yes, the very last one. And I would like to ask you to please pronounce her name, because I cannot.
Diewertje van Dijk.
Yes.
I think it is.
I need a bit of practice because I don't want to completely butcher it. But this is a Viz that you would like, right? This is your kind of style.
Yes, it is. I did something very well, I did something quirky, like similar. I just want to kind of play with colors and shapes and things. I really like this, but then the only thing that I'm confused about is the height of the bars, because I think here they kind of added it up as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really understand how that makes sense.
And you know what? I probably would just get rid of the axis labels because
Yeah, and then no one.
yeah, because then I mean it's not
No.
about misleading, but more well this is the main reason, and this is like you can
Yeah.
say the majority picked this, but maybe just don't
Yeah.
specify it because I just can't confirm whether that's actually something we can do there. Yeah.
I did individual lines for each of them, like the different, like women,
Mm-hmm.
this category, men, that category, and then you can use the height to
Yeah.
kind of encode those values. And I sized the hearts as well, according to the same thing. But that's like the only thing that I would take away from this, just because it's confusing
Yeah.
with the percentages and you can't really add them up. But I like the aesthetic of it, and I like the colors
I do too.
And it all matches.
Yeah.
It works from that perspective.
Okay, so let's finish on that note. I'm going to bring our faces back. Are you ready?
Oh, it can be quick though. I'm fine.
Yes. Oh, it's gotten very dark outside, so I'm looking a bit.
It does? Okay, I don't know what that looks like.
I'm looking a bit dark, and my screen has gone completely like nighttime orange. So thank you.
Oh yes, here I am. Okay.
Yay! Thank you for joining me again. I've got to head off. I've got something else on now.
Me too. Dinner.
And I hope for everyone that was useful, helpful. Let us know what you think. Make sure when you update your Viz, you also share a new picture on Twitter so we can see it. And
Yes.
until next time.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.